And also Microsoft Excel, working with text in Microsoft Excel is different from working with text in Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, you can just copy any text anyhow, bring any text together. But that doesn't work in Microsoft Excel. Why? Because Microsoft Excel works with formulas. Whatever you want to do, you need to know the exact formulas that you have to use. And the way Microsoft Excel works is it works in L format, in L shape. You come down and you go right. You come down and you go right. When you drag your formula down and you drag it right. You can drag it right too, but it actually works in that line. You cannot drag from front to back, or you are saying you are dragging from bottom to up. You have to drag from top to down, right, or left to right, or top to down. So whenever you are working with text, you need to know what exactly you actually want to do before you can input the right formulas. And there are few functions that work with text. And one thing you must know is that there are several functions in Excel that you cannot know all of them finish. No matter how good an expert you are, it actually depends on the aspect that you are working with Excel that will guide you in knowing the exact formula you need to use. So Microsoft Excel is created in the sense that when I have figures, I can add them together. And so I have 34 here and I have 32 here. I can add this 34 and say this 34 plus this 32. But what I'm making 66, but what happens if I'm not adding them together and I actually want to join them? I want to say, okay, this 32 is a continuation of 34. That is where it becomes merging two cells together and you want it to remain on the same cell. Let's say, for example, I have these items laid out. I have first name, surname, the city, and the bank. And someone has called me that, okay, I need this information. I need first name and surname together. So I cannot just say is equals to first name plus Clinton surname and I'll have answer. No, because why am I having value? Because Excel is designed to only add figures. You cannot add text together. You cannot say A plus B when A doesn't have a definite value. So, and I need to bring these things together. So that's where the working with text come into place. And when you are working with text, there are some formulas that perfectly go with text. One is concatenate. I will display them and you're going to see. One is concatenate, or you can use ampersand. I already said that there's no one way to do something in Excel. You can always use two ways. Let's say I want to join these two files together. Because they are not figures, I cannot say is equals to this plus this. No. I need to bring them together. The basic of working with Microsoft Excel is to know how to organize your cells, how to know whenever something is different, the difference between the text and values. I can add text, but I can add values, but I can't add text. I need to match text. So working with text, I have this information, but somebody is telling me that, oh, this is not the way I want it. I actually want the first name and surname to be together. Then do all of this for me. Now, it's simple if you're having one value. But now, what will happen when you're having like 1,000 values and you need to deliver this thing within a twinkle of an eye? So some people are so good in Microsoft Excel that they will use Power Query to write a lot of query and bring them together. But in simple ways, you can use Excel formula to bring these two together without going through stress. That is one. And two, in Excel, when you are working in Excel formulas, you have to reference any cell. Like whatever you are putting in the formulas must be in the cell. So if peradventure you want to add a foreign character, when I mean foreign character simply means that the character that is not existing in any cell in that particular sheet, you want to add it to your formula, you need to introduce what we call inverted comma, these two inverted comma, and put that particular figure inside. So if you're actually getting me and you are still hearing me, you can signify on the chat box, and whenever you have any question, you can always put your question there and I will attend to it. So now, let's say we have first name and we have second name, and we have been challenged that, okay, this information I need to bring it together. Working with text is basic. How do I bring these two together? There are two ways. I can work with concatenate function or I work with amper function. How do I work with concatenate function? Whenever you want to write any formula in Excel, the very first thing you are going to input is equals to. Whenever you put equals to, it simply tells the Microsoft Excel that you are trying to write a command. In this word, you are trying to write a formula. So I want to bring these things together. So, like I said, I cannot say is equals to this plus this. It won't give me my right answer. So I need to come with a functions that with a formula that work with text, which is the concatenate function, and say is equals to. Immediately I start typing it, the system generates a list of functions that start with that letter. So I just pick the concatenate function. I press my tab or you double click on it. So it's telling me that I actually want to work with text. What is the text one? Text one is the first name. I put comma. What is the text two? Text two is the Clinton. I'm done, fine, and I close it. Enter. I have Bill Clinton. I can actually come again if you want me to. But now that I have Bill Clinton, it's not making any sense because the texts are jam-packed all together. So I need a space. I need a space in between to write that stuff for it to make sense. So I can just delete what I've done again and say is equals to concatenate C-O-N-C-A. So I have this concatenate, and I have, what's the first one? B, comma. I need a space in between, but I'm not having a cell with a space because a space is a foreign text that I need to bring in. So I can always input my first inverted comma, press the space, close it with inverted comma again, press comma, and press my second text, enter. Then I can have Bill space Clinton. That's for concatenate function. Some people don't use concatenate function and use and. Let me join it together. So if I want to join these things together, I can say is equals to and this. Then I have it here, Barack Obama. But there is no space inside. Are we together? So if I want to join, if I want something that have a space, I can just say is equals to this and put inverted comma because it's a foreign something, put space, close it with inverted comma, and the next one, this. So what I'm simply saying is that system, give me this cell and space and this cell. That's all. I've solved this issue. This formula performs the same function as concatenate function. But when I'm done with all of that, I cannot be pressing this formula one after the other. So it is important that I know what I'm doing in order not to waste time. So if I've input one formula, the formula should be able to serve and perform the same function across board. So I say is equals to concatenate B cell, comma, inverted comma, space, comma, and surname, enter. So I said you can now drag down. Once you drag down, you know this thing is also wasting time. This thing is wasting time. What if you have like 1 million data? So whatever I want to do, I always go to the end of my data. This is the end. I always put E there. You can put any number, any alphabet to signify that this is the end. Then I go up. Okay, after inputting my formula, you can now press Shift, Control, down. To go straight direct to the end. And whenever I have that end, I can always press Control D. Control D will give me the same thing across board. So you can see from here, Adebukola space Are O Amina space Ogunranti. I don't need to be inputting the formula one after the other before I get my result. There's also another stuff that whenever you input the first formula here, you can bring your cursor to this place. Whenever you have this plus sign, you can double click and you have the same thing down instead of pressing Control D. Somebody is raising up his hand. Adragbemi Adeniji. So.
Hello, sorry. The screen is not changing on my own end. I don't know if it's going.
Okay, you cannot see the screen.
I can see the screen, but it's not changing. All the thing is just stagnant. I don't know. But I know it should be doing something on the screen.
So I can even hardly hear you. Okay, please, if you are hearing me and you can see what I'm doing, you can please signify. Like if you are hearing me and you can see.
Your screen.
What did you say?
I can hear you and I can see your screen.
And you can see where I'm inputting the formulas.
Yes, please.
So Adeniji, please, can you just log out and log in again? Probably you will see it clearly and you'll be able to do what I've just explained. If you have the file with you, you can try what I've just done just now. So what I simply did is that I need the first name space and I need the second surname. And that's exactly what I've actually done. And I use concatenate function. That's all. And you can also, okay, fine. You can also use the AND function if you decide not to use this. And once you have input one formula, you don't need to be inputting the formula one after the other. You can come here when you have this plus sign, double click, and you have your answer all down. So you can see that we have NOSA space, Edebo, something like that. So are we clear on this? Working with text. Those are the functions that work with text. Now, let's go with this.
Hi, Segun.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, of course.
Okay, so the file that you shared, we cannot edit it because we have rights to view only. So you may want to also give us rights to be able to edit.
You can download it now. You can always download it.
Okay.
Like download it. Once you download it on your system,
yeah,
you can use it on your system. Are we on the same page now?
yes, please.
Okay, sorry. Oh. Okay. Are you still seeing my screen? You're still seeing my screen, right? Okay, so the next thing is this. You can always add as many as possible, any formulas. You can add like 10, 20 formulas if you know what you are doing. I just work with one formula here because I only need one formula to do what I'm doing. But in this case, let's say, okay, you have been given the data, but you're having, can you see my screen now, please? Like where I am, I'm first name, surname. Can you see that?
Yes, you can. Or I can.
Okay, fine. So I'm having you and you have been asked, okay, fine. I need this information in first name, space, surname, but I need all of them in uppercase. Pretty much straightforward. The information that has been given to me is not in uppercase. How do you want me to present this in uppercase for you? I have a large pool of data. I don't need to be writing it capital letter one by one. And the very first thing is that in Microsoft Word, we always use Shift F3, but that Shift F3 won't work here. So what am I going to do? The very first thing is this. If you need to bring any text into capital letter in Microsoft Excel, there's a function called proper. So I just upper. I just click is equals to upper, and I put this Donald Trump. Then I have capital letter. If I need to bring any letter to lowercase, I can always write is equals to lower. I convert the text to a lowercase, all of them in lowercase. But now, what do I need to do? What I have been asked to bring the capital letter of first name and capital letter of surname all together. And I know that to return any text to capital letter, I need to use upper. To bring text together, I need to use concatenate. So simply means combine two capital letters together with space in the middle is equals to combine, concatenate two capital letters together. The very first capital letter, upper, this capital letter, donut, this is the capital letter, comma. I need a space, inverted comma, space, inverted comma, close. Another capital letter, upper, of what? Surname. Then I close it and I close my dot. Boom. Do you understand that?
No.
Okay. So
Just run through again.
yeah, I can do it again. I can do it again. What I'm just explaining is that in Microsoft Excel, you can combine as many as formulas you like. Like I've worked to a point that I combine like 6 formulas together because I know what I want to do and I want to minimize my time. Some people will go to the length of saying, okay, let me insert and put is equals to upper and put this one. This is capital letter, right? Some people will go again, insert, and let me put this one is equals to upper. This is another capital letter. Then they will now say, let me bring the two together, insert is equals to concatenate. So is equals to this, Abby, comma, inverted comma, space, comma, and I have this. So what am I having? Sorry, sorry, just a minute. Okay, sorry, I've hit the file is stopping. So I have some upper, then I bring everything together like this. So I'm wasting time, one, and I'm wasting space. So if I want to do all of these things that has happened here, I can just come here and say concatenate is equals to bring together, concatenate, like combine, concatenate. Now, the uppercase of this, UPP, uppercase of this, P, close it together, comma, open an inverted comma, give a space, close it, comma, and give me upper again of what? Of this surname. Then I can close my bracket. Same thing, but I have to go first way, second way, third way before I got my answer. But this place, I used the formula direct and I got my answer. So the stuff is that as you go on with your Microsoft Excel, you discover the best way to use your formulas better. So some people will go this route, this one for before they get the answer. But me, I don't have time. I can actually combine 1, 2, 3. I've actually combined 3 formulas here. So I can do it. Now, the reason why I prefer using concatenate than using ampersand is that if I'm using ampersand, which is and, I will keep pressing and at each interval. But for concatenate, I will only be pressing comma, 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 comma. So, do you understand what I just explained here now? Do you have any question? Did you get what I explained here? Hello, can anybody hear me? Hello?
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, okay. You don't have any issue concerning this. So now that I've input the formula, I can just double click on this and the stuff will come down straight. Uppercase, and a space in the middle. Look at this. I need lowercase, space, and lowercase. The same thing here, but I have to put it in lowercase. So I can just say is equals to combine together, which is, see, one thing I always do is that whatever I want to do, I'll first put it down in my own words. What do I want to do? I want to combine these cells together. In what format? In lowercase format. So I'm now saying that combine this first thing, the very first one, comma, I need a space in between, and there is no set for space. Naturally, say space is a foreign text that I need to bring in. That's why I'm putting inverted comma. I put space, I put inverted comma, close. Now, and I put this. I will have this. But what? I need everything in lowercase. So if I need everything in lowercase, there are two things you can do. That's the reason why you have this formula bar. Let's imagine that I've written like 10 formulas here, and I made a mistake with one formula because I didn't put lower there. I don't need to delete everything. I can always go there and edit it. But for the sake of this class, let me just delete and put it there for us to be straightforward. So I delete, I have combine, concatenate, this. So I need a lowercase. So I press lower text of this. I close it. I press comma. I put inverted comma. I put space. I put inverted comma. I press comma, and I put lower again, the lower case of this word, this surname. I close it. Then I close my final bracket. In simple. So I have Donald, space, and Trump. Then whenever I press this, I can have the same thing all down. Now, blank, remove, surplus. There are so many times I've done this, like when I convert PDF to Microsoft Excel, I always have everything scattered. You see, whenever you check this bank, you see we have Atlantic Bank, but it's starting from the very first space. But this one is having like 2 spaces in the front, right? Before you have Wonder Bank, 2 spaces in the front. This one is having like double space in the middle. All of these are not organized. This one, we are having like 3 or 4 spaces in the middle. But I want everything to be organized because I want to present it to the management. So that's why we have a formula called trim. Trim. Put everything in place. Put everything in. So I just press is equals to trim this. And immediately I do this, everything comes in order. Now, when I now have this data now, I can present it to the management or whoever is asking me that I'm presenting this one that is scattered. When you're working with Excel, you need to be smart and you need to know what you want, especially when the information that you have been given are in PDF format or other format that are not in Excel format, and you need to bring them into Excel, and these data are too much for you to be doing one after the other. So you need to be smart with the way you do things. And the basic of the thing is that you must know how to work with your Excel, with your text. Same way, if I have this, I need to bring the bank in their title case. The same way I said we have something that is called proper. I need to bring this bank in the title case. The very first one we have capital letter, while others we have small letter. So I can always say is equals to proper. Then I pick this, copy down. So we have the first letter in capital letter and we have others in small letter. So once I click, I have this plus and I can double click, which is left click on your mouse 2 times. And I have everything there. Notwithstanding, we are having different spaces there. Why are we having different spaces? Because I only tell the Excel to give me this information in title case, not to trim it, not to remove unnecessary space. But in any case, where I want the Excel to give me in title case and to remove unnecessary space, I can always say, okay, is equals to Excel, trim it for me. But when you are trimming it, bring it in title case, which is the proper, and I pick this. Where is the bank? Bank. I close this. So this way, the Excel trimmed it, remove unnecessary spaces, and gave me the bank in title case. We spend a lot of time here, so I think I need to move to the next sheet now. So that's basically working with text like that. So do we have any question with all of this? when you're working with text.
Dragon, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Please, before we go right ahead, I don't know if there are people on the call who are trying to practice as he's teaching, because I myself, I'm on my system. I have to log on to my system so I can practice as you are talking. So do we have people like that? Because before I go and practice and come back, you would have skipped what I'm doing and going to the next. Do we have people in that category too?
Okay. Okay. Do you have people like that? You can signify if you are practicing it and you need clarification before we move ahead. Hello?
Okay, that means I'm the only one practicing as you're speaking. It's actually fine. Some other person, what's his name? Sahid says you should zoom in your system so it can be a bit closer.
I will find like this.
Yeah, that works. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go to referencing. So this is the basic part of the Excel, especially for people that work with figure. We have three types of referencing. We have the absolute referencing, we have the relative referencing, and we have the normal referencing. We have absolute referencing, relative referencing, and normal references. All of this work with dollar sign. So now let me start with normal referencing. Oh, okay. Okay, we have mixed referencing too, but I won't touch mixed referencing because mixed referencing is a bit complicated, and this is actually the curriculum I usually use whenever I'm teaching. So let me start with normal referencing. Normal referencing is just like when you have inputted some data in one place before and you need those data, but you don't want to input them again. Why are you not inputting them again? Because you just discovered that at any point in time, you might need to change the data. And if you change the data, that means you'll be changing it at everywhere you've inputted those data. So you use the normal reference. For example, I've bring here, okay, I have here monthly revenue for the big four. Monthly revenue of the big four. I'm saying that they are having their revenue stream from these three places: KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, and EY, and all of this. So as at the time I'm gathering this data, let's say these are what I have, and this data tends to change if I have another information. So, and I want to reference it in other sheets. I can reference it here or in other sheets. So what I'll just do is that I'll just place is equals to, now go to that place, click on it and press enter. I've direct reference immediately. If I'm not referencing it here and I go to and I say, let me say I'm in this sheet and I need to reference this, any sheet in the workbook is equals to this place, click on it, enter. I have that 57. The advantage is this, that at any point in time when I change this 57 to, let's say, 78, all other sheets will be having 78. This place also is having 78. But now let's say I manually input 57 here and I input 57 here, 57 here, and let's say 57 is what is it again. So and they now call me and say, oh, it's no more 57, oh, it's now 78. So that means I will need to be inputting 78 at everywhere I've inputted this data. So that's where we use direct reference. I don't need to be inputting the data one after the other. So since I've inputted it in one place in that Excel workbook, even if I create 50 worksheets, I can always reference it and say is equals to this data. Enter straight. So that whenever I change this value, anywhere I'm using this data will change. 57. So now that I've inputted this, you don't expect me to be inputting it one by one and say is equals to this one again, is equals to, and I'll come here and say is equals to this place. No, I can't be doing that. Once I've done this and say is equals to this, enter. So I can just come here, I can hold down my shift and drag it down here. If I drag it down, okay, I can just press Ctrl D. It will feed me all this information. If I decide not to press Ctrl D, like I explained earlier, and I have this thing, I can double click here and it will give me all this information. Are we clear? Like, are we together? Hello, are we together? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. The other one is this. Let's say I don't want to be copying this formula after the other. So I don't want to be writing this formula after the other. I can copy it after copying this place, and I highlight all other places that I need it, and I press Ctrl V. It will still give me the same results. Ctrl V, I just copy down the formula. So whenever I change any variables, let me say I change 80 here, this place automatically changes to 80. If I copy, I can decide to copy it. And if I'm not copying it like that, I said there's no one way to do this thing in Microsoft Excel. I can always say, let me highlight it to the right, press Ctrl R, highlight it down, and press Ctrl D. That is direct reference for you. So now let's come to absolute reference. Absolute reference is whenever you want to make multiplication and the one variable is changing and the other one is not changing. These are the old salaries of people, and they decided to increase their salary by 12%. And let's say you are the HR or you are the accountant and you have like 150 employees, you don't need to be computing them one after the other. What are the values you are increasing their salary? That's 12%. So how do I go about that? I just need to get the new salary. There are ways to do that. You can first determine the increment, add it to the old salary, or by way of saying that, okay, the new salary, this is the new salary, I multiply it, is equals to the old salary. I'm actually adding it to the new salary plus, open a bracket, the old salary multiplied by 12%. I'm increasing it by 12%, and I press enter. That is the new salary. Alternatively, you can see this multiplied by 12% here, enter, and you say is equals to this plus this, same thing. But then when you have typed this formula and you copied it down, you discover that you are not getting the same thing, and you have like 150 employees. So that's where absolute referencing comes in. What is absolute referencing? This thing is changing and this one are not changing. So since these ones are not changing, I'm not going to reference it. I'm not going to fix this one. This one is changing, I'm going to fix it. So I'm going to say is equals to this plus, open a bracket, this multiply by this one. This one is not changing. 12% is not changing. It works across board. So I press my F4. Why am I press my F4? Immediately I press my F4, you are going to see $sign behind F and $sign behind 18. This is F and 18. It's telling me that $sign is arresting F, that F is not changing, 18 is not changing. That simply means absolute referencing. Then I press my enter. So once I drag my stuff down now, I can have the same stuff across board, which is saying that, look at this in the set formula, E21, which is E21, I'm adding it plus E21 multiplied by F18. I only type the formula once and I fix this place because this 12 is not changing. So if management decide that, okay, it's not 12 that we are doing again, we want to do 15, they just need to put 15% here and they will get their answer. I won't need to be inputting the formula one after the other again. That is absolute referencing. Others are changing. This one is not changing. It's absolute. So that is that about absolute referencing. Now there is this other one, relative referencing. This is relative referencing. What is relative referencing is talking about? We have this price range and we have all of this. So what I've been asked to do is that I've been asked to multiply by this I've been asked to multiply this, multiply by this multiply by this multiply by this, and all of that. So this is not changing, but these are changing. One thing that you must know is that you must first determine which cell is moving, which one is not moving. So if I need to do something like this, what I'll first do is that, okay, fine. I've been asked to multiply this is equals to this, multiply by this is giving me this. But if I copy down the formula, copy V is nothing. V is nothing. The answer is not correct. So do you mean I should be pressing this formula one after the other? No, it doesn't work that way. What am I going to do? I'm going to say is equals to this, multiply by this. Now, when you are seeing this now, we are on line 49. 49 is not going to change. But whenever we move to this place, E is going to change to F. So I'm going to fix in 49. Click on this cell, press my F4. I have the double sign and press the F4 again. Immediately you press the F4 again, you are going to have the dollar sign behind 49. So I press enter. Now I'm going to explain that immediately I copy this formula and I copy down. I'm going to have my figure. What am I saying? Immediately I copy this formula and I come here and press all of this. I'm going to have my figure. Now, what this simply means is that I multiplied 212 multiplied by 11. 337 multiplied by 11. That's what I've just done. But I've done that simply with one formula. And in order to do so, you need to use relative referencing. And if you are using relative referencing, you must know which cell is changing. 49 is not changing, but E, F, G, H, I is going to change. For example, if I change this to 10 now, you see that these values are going to change. Of course, it's changed. So it simply means that I've done is equals to this, multiplied by this here. I've done is equals to this, multiplied by this here. But I didn't input the formula one after the other, I just inputted them once. So because 49 is not going to change, I put this thing here, I put the dollar sign behind 49, and I leave other ones. That is what is known as relative referencing. Relative referencing. So do you understand that? This is very, very important for people that work with data. You must know relative referencing and absolute referencing. You must know which cell is changing and the other cell that is not changing. I only have like 30 minutes left. So these are where the key works are. So relative referencing and absolute referencing. I think that's that. I don't know whether I copied this with relative referencing, absolute referencing. So let's go to sorting data. When we have a pool of data here and we need to sort out the data, let me just explain the background of the data. You have been asked to collect information in Nigeria. So you've categorized them to region, their last name, their first name, the division, and their state. And you are giving them this is their quarter, the sales reps, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And they are now, the manager is now asking you that, okay, how many people are from Borno State that is even working with us? How many people are from Borno State? So you have all of this information and you cannot be saying, okay, Borno, Bayelsa, and be looking them one after the other. No, you can always tell yourself as well to find you the number of people, the number of time that Borno appear in that place. And we used to use that as count function. Count this for me. But I am putting a condition now. It's because of time, because I supposed to have treated count if function before I put count if together. So, but now, what I'm now saying is that as if I need to know the number of people in Borno State. So I'm going to check how did we write Borno in this form, in this something. So how did we write it? Write Borno to be, the first one is capital letter and the other one are in lower case. So I'm just saying Eze is equals to count. Count for me. Count if. And that's going to be, what are you counting? What is the range of what are you counting? This is the state range that I'm counting, comma. So what is the criteria if they are from what? Borno, open an inverted comma, and write Borno the way it was written there, close it with an inverted comma, and press and close your bracket, enter. So Eze is telling me that 2 people are from Borno. So let's manually check it. Let's manually check it. Let's manually check it. We have 1 and we have 2. Do we have any other one? No. 1, 2. 2 people are from Borno. The same way, if you want to say how many times does South appears in this region, in the region column, I just going to say count if region column, select region column, and write South. Same way this one, same way this one. Count if is just used to find the number of times a certain variable appears in a set of data. You can have 120,000 set of data, and they say, okay, find me how many times is P appearing, how many students are failing mathematics, how many students are passing mathematics. So that's how to use count if. So let me move straight to if. I'm going to do one command in that if, and that's all. So one command in that if, or okay, let me quickly go to simple operation. This is also important. Let me skip if for now because of our time, and let me go to simple operation. Simple operation is just, let me copy this. Copy simple operation. Our simple operation is our addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What am I doing? If I need to add all of this together, I just press is equals to sum. I press my tab, then I go up here. I press your shift down, I line it down, straightforward, and press your enter. You have the addition of all of these together. So I can copy this one down here, straight here. It's going to give me addition of all of these together too. That is sum. So you can decide not to use sum and write is equals to this plus this plus this plus this plus this, like that plus. I want to do everything and compare the results of the two. Plus this. So it's the same answer, but this one is stressful, while this one is pretty more straightforward. Imagine if you have 1,000 data, you're not be doing plus all the time. So you can use sub for it. And let's say you want to use subtract function or minus function. It's very simple. It's equals to this minus this. One thing that is important is that you must put is equals to before you write any formula. You want to do multiplication, is equals to this multiplied by times this. That is that about simple operation. Now, while we are still at it, let me use this information to explain chart. Do you have any question? Okay, you want me to come again on simple operation? Taufik, do you want me to come again on what? What exactly? Okay, it's not there. Okay, all right. So let me use this information to go ahead with bar chart, pie chart, and all the charts that we have. So some people tend to understand charts better than your figures like that. So depending on the category of individuals you are presenting to. So in any case, if I've given this information to people, to management, and they say, okay, just represent them in chart and bar chart for me. So what do I need to do? It's very, very straightforward. I just need to highlight everything that I need in a simple way. I'm explaining in a simple way. I highlight everything and I will go to my insert and I pick whatever charts that I need. So I can decide to pick bar charts. So if I pick bar charts, all this information are being represented here as bar chart. Now, you now have the liberty of editing this bar chart yourself. This editing and formatting bar chart can take us 30 minutes if you want to work with it, because if you see some people the way they format their bar chart, you will be so like, wow. But it takes time to format bar chart, put it the kind of color your organization is using, the chart title, the formatting of the numbers and the likes. But there are quick formatting style here that you can always use, but most time is not in line with your company policy. So you can always come here and pick any formatting style that you might want to use. But it's better you format it yourself by coming to this place and give it whatever you want to. All of this information. So you can do all of these things with this formula. And you can change the color also with this. But formatting, I'm just going to introduce you into how to insert charts, which I've done here. Formatting charts takes longer than we expect. So we are going to be looking at formatting charts, probably subsequent classes like that. That is that about inputting bar chart. So you can also input pie chart, no pie chart, insert, input your pie chart, depending on whatever you want to input. You can also format your pie chart too by clicking on this and telling the data, okay, I need the data label, I need this, I don't need this. And this is even appearing in number. You can decide to edit it and say, okay, no, I don't want it in number, I want it in percentage and all of that. You can always format all of that, and you can use a pre-designed format here and do whatever you need to do. And you can always edit it and say, okay, I need to format data series, I need to format data area, and you will see the data, the bar, and all of that. You can always format all of these things. Like I said, formatting will take longer than we expect. So let me just introduce us to inputting chart and bar. So I can decide to highlight it if I need to input chart. Highlight it here and come here and say, okay, I need a line graph, whatever kind of chart I need to input this. Just come here, select any recommended chart, any chart that you want to use. Any chart, any bar graph, anything you want to use. So you can always use the chart. So do you have any question before I move on? Do you have any question before I move on? Our time is going. Okay. No question. So if there is no question, let me go to pivots. Now, what do we use pivots to? People that use pivot most are data analysts and accountants. What do we use pivots to? Imagine you are having this pool of data, and you have been asked to summarize this data in a simpler form. We have this pool of data, figure everything. So you cannot just present this thing. You have been asked to summarize this data. Pivot will help you summarize whatever you want to summarize. Even if you don't have an idea of doing it, pivot will help you. What you just need to do is highlight the set of data that you want to summarize. Highlight everything that you want to summarize. This is also wasting time. So I can just go up here. It's okay. Right. Highlight everything to the right. Press down my control. Come down. I've highlighted everything. Now go to pivot table. Give me the pivot table. So this is what I'm going to have in my pivot table. So it now depends on, okay, what information do I need exactly? Okay, I've decided that, okay, I need the state of origin. I want to know how many people do we have in our company, their state. So I pick on the state here. I have the list of all the states. So who is getting paid the most? I can say, okay, who is getting paid the most? I go, okay, basic salary. I put it here. You are going to see the basic salary in front. Basic salary, transportation. You understand? Like that, like that. So it actually depends on your creativity and the information you want. So like that, you don't need. I already have Abia. The total people that we are paying, the total basic salary we are having in Abia is this. So I already have, okay, what banks are we using the most? I can decide to put banks here. Atlantic Bank, all of that. But then if this thing is getting messed up, I can say, okay, fine. Let me just put this bank in filter. If I put this bank in filter, I can come here and select, okay, I only need information about Atlantic Bank. Select Atlantic Bank, please, okay. These figures has changed. I don't need information about Atlantic Bank. I only need information about Distress Bank. Click on Distress Bank, and I have this information. This information has changed. So pivots table will help you summarize a list of all your data, all your information. But then you need to first tell yourself, what information am I looking at? What information am I looking for? So after looking at what information am I looking for, so now let me now bring them in pivots. And you can go as well and say, okay, if I have all of this, I can decide and say, okay, no, I'm not working with state of origin again. No, I actually need to work with department. Then let me bring back the state of origin. And where's the department? Bring back the department. So now I'm now having that, okay, in this all our department, we have these several departments in the organization. These are the people that we are paying the most, and these are the amount we are spending on transportation. I can go ahead and plot this thing in a bar chart. Highlight it and say insert, give me bar chart. Where did I start from? I started from this information, this big information. I use pivot to summarize them. After using pivot to summarize them, and I use bar chart to bring them out. So if I decide and say, okay, I'm taking last bank, immediately I click on it, this data will change. Immediately I click on all the banks, this data will change. Immediately I click, okay, no, I don't want all the banks, no. I need these 3 banks alone. This data is just going to change. It's dynamic, it's working hand in hand. So it's working hand in hand. It's actually depend on the file you are working with. I have this pool of information, and see how I've summarized it here. And after summarizing it, see the way I'm presenting it with bar chart. After presenting this in bar chart, I can decide and say, okay, no, I need to know some other information. Which other information do I need to know? I need to know our units, the units and department. So see what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing another information in different form. So I can decide and say, okay, no. This data is too bogus. I don't need it in that way. I don't need unit again. You can remove unit field. You can remove anything, right click and just remove field. Give you whatever data you need. So it actually depends on what you're actually looking at. So if I have my bar chart here, so I can go ahead, give management any report I want. Let's say I have bar chart here and I have pie chart here. Insert pie chart. I have pie chart here. Now, to tell you how dynamic these things are, immediately I select this thing. If I change my information and say, okay, I'm not using this, I'm using this data, all the informations are going to change, including the bar chart, including the pie chart. That's what pivots will do for you. There's an advanced form of pivot, which we know as power pivots. So we use to summarize a large pool of data, and we present it in dashboard form. For example, if I'm working with Domino's and I've gotten their information from 2001 till date. So I know their sales, their region, the type of order, the sum, the amount. So I can quickly do all of those information, put them in Power Pivot. And instead of in this filter, I can put date and year, months and year in the filter, so that whenever management select, okay, let's say management select 2010, immediately they click on it, they will have all the information, everything that happens in 2010. But like I said, everything we are doing now is just a brief of what Microsoft Excel is all about. There's a wide range. There is another thing that you can do with them. So this Power Pivot is a course on its own, working with Power Pivot, working with Pivot. So that is that about pivot for short. So I've explained that pivot for short. So now let me just round it up with this if function. Let me round it up with this if function. So let me just copy some figures here. Let me copy some figures here and use it as if function. So now, if I'm using if function is often used. Everybody can use if function, but we accountant, tax people always use if function. What does if function is? It's segmenting whatever you are doing, keeping the information short. So we have logical if function and we have nested if function. I'm just going to touch logical if function because that nested if function, I don't want to bore us with it as I'm rounding off the class. So if function is very, very simple. I have this formula here, and the management has decided to give everybody bonus. But then they are now saying one thing, that they are saying that those that have their salary less than 1 million naira, they are going to have 5% bonus in salary. But other people are going to have 10% in salary. That is very, very simple. We that have salaries of less than 1 million, we are going to get 5%. Others are going to say 10%. So what I'm just going to tell my is that, okay, if this salary, I'm going to write, if this salary that you are seeing is less than 1 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, comma, everybody, they are getting 10%. Give me 10% multiplied by salary, comma, what is the value if false? The value is that if false. So that means that if their salary is now above 1 million naira, what should we give them? Give me 10%. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. If the salary is less than 1 million naira, give me 5% multiplied by the salary. Otherwise, give me 10% multiplied by the salary. Close case. Now, it's very, very pretty much simple, but you need to think before you use it. Why? I'm saying that I have a lot of people that are under me, but I want to give them bonus. I'm not saying that if the salary that they are earning before is less than 1 million, I'm just going to give them 5% of their salary. But if the salary is higher than 10 million, is higher than 1 million, I'm going to give them 10% of their salary. And if you are looking at this, after giving this thing command, you will discover that the 10% of this is what we have there. Now, I have a lot of people working under me, so I don't need to be inputting the formula one after the other. So I just click on this, and let's just test run. This is higher than 1 million, so we're having the 10%. This is lower than 1 million, and we're having the 5%. What is 5% of this? Is equal to this, multiplied by 5%. So you see, we're having 5%. So assuming immediately I change this to, let's say, 1.5 million, the value change automatically. I'm now giving the person 10%. So you don't need to be writing the formulas one after the other. You just need to understand what you want to do and how to present it in Microsoft Excel. So, Miss Favor, are you there?
Yes, please, I'm here.
So I'm done with my class. So because as I said, I have up to 12:40. So I'm trying to give the last 9 minutes for people that want to ask questions on what we have done so far, so I can run through them. So basically, these are summary. All these functions that we have used, there are a lot of things that you can do with them, especially this power pivot. This pivot, there are a lot of things you can do. There is an aspect of power pivot. There is an aspect of you present data using pivot and dashboard, that all of them will be dynamic together. Immediately you change any data, you filter them, the values are going to change. All of them, all the values are going to change, like that department and all of that. So even this logic if, we keep using if every day, depending on whatever you want to use. There are still a lot of formulas. We have VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. All of those ones are course on their own because they are being used by people that works in big data to find information. And there's even these functions that you that like watching football, you can create an Excel sheet for yourself that tracks the table on a daily basis. You just need to connect to the internet and refresh it. I have a file that I used to track the Nigerian market to know the value of dollar per time, and I just need to refresh my Excel sheet and to pull off the information. But I have configured my Excel. I can't do it on other people's Excel, but I've configured my Excel in that area. So whatever you are doing, you can always learn more on all of this. And these are just like a brief information of what we have done. So there is room for questions now. Favor is going to coordinate us. If you have questions, raise up your hand, and once you have been called, you can raise up your hand and you can ask a question. Thank you, Favor. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Segun. I mean, you did justice to this conversation. Thank you once again. Okay, so if you have questions, please, and I'll call you. Salami, your hand is up. Please unmute. And if any noisy environment, you can please send your question in the chat box. I'll read it out for our facilitator to respond. Salami.
Hi, Favor. I Segun, wonderful. I must commend you. You've done well. Basically, this is what we do in our daily activity here. I just want to say thank you, and I would like you to please take the advanced class, if you don't mind, whenever you are free, to get where we touch macros, where we touch the index margin and the likes. Do you understand?
Thank you.
So whenever you are free.
So the index marks of a thing, index match, all of those things works together. And before you can explain index match for someone, that person must have graduated from beginner to advanced. You understand what I'm saying? Because explaining index match, you will need to be matching, doing referencing, a lot of that, and that will take like 30 minutes of your time explaining to someone that doesn't know it before.
Exactly.
But thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So do we have anybody again asking question? Do you have anyone asking question? Favor.
Okay, yes, please. Salami, you can please lower your hand if he has responded to your question. Do we have any other question for Segun? Segun, I would like you to please go back to using the proper and the trim formula together.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So, sorry, proper and trim. Proper. Okay, fine. So what I just explained here is this. I have these informations with me that are not aligned. So where are those information? So sorry, I'm not using all of these. Let me just. So fine. So what I just did now are also other functions. So we usually hide sheets for people, especially when we are sending it out. We hide sheet, we hide cell, we hide figure, we hide values. You just feel like, how did this guy do all of these things? We are the input sheet. We are just seeing formula everywhere. We've hid everything. So you need to like be smart before you can see where we have the input sheet. So because that is actually disturbing me, so I have to hide it now. So proper and trim. I have this information. Atlantic Bank, and I need to arrange it in a lower case, but I need to present it in a more meaningful way. I want to remove excess function. So what I'm going to tell the Excel is that, okay, Excel, trim this information for me, but in the proper way, like giving the first letter capital letter and the other one lower letter. So I'm just going to say is equals to trim this data, but in a proper way, proper, enter. That's all.
Great. Thank you for that.
So
Thank you.
even this one that I didn't touch, this is a foreign text. So I'm saying that, okay, give me the first name, small letter. Give me the second name in small letter. Give me the first name in small letter. Put dot in front. Give me the second name in small letter. And I'll put at copyandpaste.com. So I believe that is something that we should be able to do. It's something that we should be able to do. I can use ampersand. So, okay, I've been using concatenate since. So I can just use, okay, let me say is equals to, give me this, lower. Give me this. First name, where's first name? First name, lower, Abby.
Yeah.
And what? What are you giving me? Give me
Surname lower.
full stop, full stop, full stop, Abby. And again, what are you giving me? Lower, surname, lower, surname. And what are you giving me? Copyandpaste.com. But because copy and paste is not in any sheet, so I bring out inverted comma, copy and paste.com. Then I close my bracket. I should have my answer here. So sorry, there's something that I didn't put. I put copy and paste. I didn't put at. Sorry. So now I've inputted my formula, but I discovered that I made a mistake. I don't need to delete everything. What is happening? I didn't put at there, so I can just go to this formula bar, click on this, and just put the at there. It's very simple. Donald.trump at copyandpaste.com. That's all. You can try this one, pretty much simple, and that there's this function left, right. So left is saying that, okay, I need the number of this. Let me say I need this number. A certain character from the left is equals to left, number of character that I need 4 character. Okay. So from the left, so you are going to have ATLA. That is 4 character from the left. I need what? 4 character from the right. I can always say right. So there are a lot of formulas that you work with when you are working with text. No, I need 4. So 4 characters from the right is bang. And there is this option. If I need to split this thing together, I split the cell. There are so many things. There are so many ways to do so. This class cannot cover. So, but I'm glad that we just covered the brief introduction of it. When we keep doing everything together, so we understand better. So if there's anybody that is asking question again, so please.
Okay, thank you very much, Segun. We have we have some comments on the chat. Victor is saying, is there any way we can get the recording of this session? Really couldn't follow up all through. Yes, Victor. The recording to this session will be shared. If you registered for the session you registered with your email, the recording to the session will be shared to you via email. But if you clicked on the link on all the groups that the link was shared to, the recording will also be shared to those groups. Taufik says, please, can you put more light on data sorting? Whoever is using Favor Ever, I think I've responded to your question. That is about getting video for the session.
So this sorting data is, I just explained that, okay, I have this pool of data, but I'm explaining, and there's a question that how many times are we seeing Borno in the information? So I just say, okay, as a count if Borno is inside this pool of data. So I just write count if. And I said earlier that we have count function and we have if function. The combination of count if is the addition of count and if. Something is a count if Borno is in. That means if Borno is not in, don't count. For example, how many times does Southwest appear in the region column? So I can also say it's a count if, where is the Southwest region column? I go to this region column, I highlight everything, Abi, comma, what amount, what, it's okay. Okay, I need to fix them. Sorry, so let's go again. Count if, let's highlight everything. So you need to fix them, comma, comma. So what am I looking for? South, south. Put it inverted comma, south, south. And close your brackets. You are going to have it here. Now, one thing also is this. Why am I putting it inverted comma? Because I don't have it in a cell out. Assuming I have it in a cell and I'm not having south, SU, south, south in a cell. I don't need to put in inverted comma. So whoever is asked, the person that asked for index match the other time, so you can use index match or any other thing here, or you can say, okay, count if this comma, the criteria is what? This is the criteria for me. Enter. So in this case, I'm not actually selecting, I'm not putting it in inverted comma because I have it here. And there's other thing that you can do. What are you doing? And say, okay, let me say I have south, south. Sorry. I have south, south. What are other things that here? North central, southwest, north central. And I have all of this, and I say, okay, sorry, it to be like magic, but I might not just quickly. So, sorry, I won't be able to explain what I've just done now. It's a long process. So now, let's say I'm having southwest, and I decide, I say, no, it's not southwest that I want again. Southwest that I want, I need north central. You see, immediately I click on north central, it will count the number of north central for me. I don't need to retype it. Immediately I need southwest, it will count it for me. So everything that I just done here is when you are doing a dynamic, you are trying to format your essay in a dynamic way where you don't need to be typing whatever you need at intervals. You just need to click on it and a list of drop down will appear for you and you pick whatever you want. I need Borno, I need, that's why when management say, okay, what of southeast? What of southwest? Southwest. What of north central? You just click north central. You need to be inputting your formulas one after the other again. So I believe I've answered your question. Hello. Did you get the explanation? Oh, the person's not there. Okay, all right. Do you have any other question, Fibo? Hello, Fibo. Hello, Fibo. Is Fibo still in? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, Sheldon, I can hear you. I can hear you. Well done.
So I think Fibo is not in again. So if you have any question, please.
I'm here.
Okay, so we have been waiting for you. I've answered the question. So
Okay, great. Thank you so much. My network kicked me out. So are there any more questions? Do we still have any question that Segun is here to respond to? I'm not seeing any hands raised and I'm not seeing any question on the chat.
okay,
So it automatically means that Segun has done justice to all our questions.
so thank you very much. I can stop sharing now.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Segun, once again for having us. For those of us that couldn't follow we couldn't follow the work while he was working on it, like we couldn't have a practical experience while he was teaching. I don't know, Segun, is it possible for you to actually share the Excel you worked on now? Is it possible you share it with us? So as we're watching the videos, we can also see the formulas as you have worked on them.
So the stuff is that I might need to prepare another one and send it there because the one I work on is actually you see that you have my Excel curriculum here. So it's a big file that I use whenever I want to do Excel training. So it starts from the beginning till advanced something. So I will have to copy that one out, but which can be immediate now, of course.
Of course, of course.
So fine. Subsequently then.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. We'll be expecting that in the WhatsApp group. Okay, before we round off, before we start leaving the meeting room, I have posted a link to the feedback form for this session. Please do us good by clicking on the link. I think Mama Tony has also posted, and Sahid has also posted the link. Please click on the link and fill your feedback. Kindly rate the sessions, and your suggestion means a lot to us, basically, to help us improve and do better in our next session, right? So I would appreciate that the 23 people on this call can